is one of the richest countries in Africa. It's the fourth largest oil producer in sub-Saharan Africa, and the sector accounts for nearly 40% of GDP and over 70% of exports. It's the world's second largest producer of manganese, an important alloy in steel construction, and it also generates significant income from its rainforests. All this helped it to recover quickly from the coronavirus pandemic, posting 3% growth last year. The country's population is small, with just 2.3 million people, and yet many of them do not benefit from Gabon's considerable oil and mineral wealth. This is a key source of resentment against the government of President Ali Bongo and his family, which has ruled for 55 years.
The military are said to have appeared on television saying they are now in control of the country. They've also announced the cancellation of elections and all institutions have been dissolved. Gabon's Electoral Commission said that President Ali Bongo had won a third term in a controversial ballot held in the last few days.
Welcome to African Boss. Is this the end of democracy in Africa as we know it? Some hours ago, another democracy in Africa has collapsed. Gabon became the latest African country and another French colony to suffer a coup d'etat and oust a so-called democratically elected president, Ali Bongo Ondimba, ending the Bongo family dynasty after 55 years of rule. The 65-year-old Ali Bongo appeared on social media begging for help, asking sympathizers to make noise from the very same people he and his father before him neglected for 55 years. So far, there hasn't been such sympathy. No one has made a noise. Instead, the country is celebrating the end of a political dynasty in Gabon.
I'm Ali Bongo Ondimba, President of Gabon, and I'm to send a message to all the friends that we have all over the world to tell them to make noise, for the people here have arrested me and my family. My son is somewhere, my wife is in another place, and I'm at the residence. Right now, I'm in the residence and nothing is happening. I don't know what's going on. So I'm calling you to make the noise, really. I'm thanking you. Thank you.
You are watching African Boss. Here we discuss business, finance, technology, and geopolitics.
I'm here because your fight for democracy and human rights, for equity and economic growth, for peace and tolerance.
Democracy was imposed on Africa by the USA and Europe in the 1990s as a solution to its problems and was meant to solve economic and governance issues facing the continent, as the majority of the African countries were under authoritarian governments. Decades later, democracies appear to be failing at an alarming rate in Africa. Gabon and Niger are the latest democracies to fail. So what has gone wrong with democracy in Africa? The recent tale of the world has been one of increasing inflation, stagnant economies, rising costs of living, the war in the Ukraine, and disrupted supply chains. But if you add coup d'etats, anti-Western attitudes, notably towards the French, waving Russian flags, years of mismanagement of economies, poor service delivery, external interference and the exploitation of vast natural resources, worsening poverty, failure to control jihadists, and corruption by democratically elected leaders. This is the daily lives of the people of the Sahel region in West Africa, who are currently experiencing an unparalleled crisis, where democracies are collapsing like dominoes, and the military strongmen have made a strong comeback. So is the military coup d'etat contagion spreading in Africa? Evidently, yes. The glaring common factor between Gabon and the rest of the West African coup d'etats is that Gabon was previously a French colony. Though there are similarities, there are also stark differences between Gabon and the West African coups. Gabon has been ruled by the Bongo family for 55 years. The senior Bongo, Omar Bongo, became president of the country in 1967, and shortly after he declared the country a one-party state. Multi-party democracy returned in 1991. Omar Bongo won subsequent elections before he died of a cardiac arrest in 2009 in Spain. His son, Ali Bongo, took over the government after controversial elections. It is fair to say that all democratic elections in Gabon have not been credible, with claims of manipulation and cheating by the state, followed by protests which are put down by the government. There was a half-hearted coup d'etat by military mid-level officers in 2019, while Ali Bongo was in Morocco for stroke rehabilitation. The coup quickly failed. Ali Bongo suffered a stroke in 2018, hence he uses a walking stick as he has right-sided weakness from his stroke. So Gabon is a country rich in natural resources such as timber, manganese and oil. The country is the 5th largest oil producer in Africa. Although its oil reserves are dwindling and preparations for a post-oil economy are underway. Despite being rich with natural resources, 50% of its 2.5 million people live under the poverty line. The natural wealth has not trickled down to the people. The Bongos clearly haven't done much in terms of improving the country, apart from enriching themselves and the ruling elite. After 55 years in power, which is inexcusable given the resources and the small population.
One family holds all the power. There's a semblance of democratic institutions, but it's all controlled by the regime. It's basically an oil emirate run like a family property for almost 6 decades.